Hello everybody, and here's another stream. This time just it's going to be probably a shorter one, but a quick update on some of the recent work that I've managed to do, and a lot of it was kind of focused around implementing the Grapple component, which is a really useful component that I use for NPC interactions, be it with friendly NPCs, be it with enemy NPCs, and I'll quickly show you some of that, and also some work that I've done um, with AI, something that I previously had, but now I had to rework to fit my new setup with my character classes. So let's quickly show you a preview of how things look. Um, so let's see, is there an enemy? Oh, there. So currently the enemy is running its own little behavior tree, but if I go up to him, uh, I can do things like this. So in this case it's just a handshake, but for enemy NPC it'd be a little bit different. So let's take a look, and maybe I can position him in a way, or at least spawn um, the character somewhere where the enemy can't see me. So let's take a look at this here. So I guess he didn't see me that time. Let's turn on the debug. So as you can see, can player is set to false. Let's see if I can approach it from the back, and from the back you can just do this little bit where so right now it's still a little rough. There's it's no good implementation for it, and or the settings are not proper when it comes to the strangle from the rear, from the back of the player. And but yeah, it just goes into a and right now it just moves around because I'm not disabling the behavior tree, so it still thinks that like he's doing things. So that will be fixed. But yeah, those were some of the updates, and of course this um, instead of the handshake with the enemy, it'd be more of a kind of a front kick type of thing. So let's take a look at that, and I can show you a little bit of the grapple component, or this grapple object that I'm using for this action. So let me pull up the my main character, and we can take a look. Let's see, where did I put that? Okay, here we go. So um, basically, whenever I use the currently the right item action is just my left mouse button. So whenever that happens, it could I just label this event as a stealth attack. But what happens is, um, in case of a stealth attack or a melee attack, there's going to be this grapple attempt that's being called on the grapple component, and each one of these grapple attempts takes one of these grapple objects. So let's take a look at one of these guys, and I'll quickly go over some of the setup within it. So each one of the like in this case, the stealth takedown. This is kind of the one from the back where we just strangle the opponent. So in this case, what's going to happen, the main part of this would be in this generate grapple component data. And usually with the grapple component you have two participants. So you'll have a grapple data for participant 1, and a grapple data for so for the second participant, it's kind of as an array as 0, 1, and then 1. So each one of um, these structs, this grapple data local, takes a set of structs as well. So one of them would be the repositioning. So depending on your animation, it's usually they would kind of reposition the character a little bit. Like with my front kick, I'll show you how that looks, as well as how the receiving end looks. So the front kick would be the kick of the main player, the main character, and then kind of the reaction to that, kind of a kick in the gut would be the reaction of the enemy. So in this case, what I have here is just the handshake. So right now, oh, actually no, this is the stealth takedown. So as you can see, one of them has this animation, or animation montage I should say, where this is kind of the main player, where it's kind of just grappling and trying to stranglehold it. And the second participant, being the enemy, has the victim, which is kind of just falling down. And then once that happens, I just put it into a ragdoll state. And like I said, the only thing that I still need to do is fix the AI to stop its processing. All right, so we've taken a look at the animation, we've taken a look at the repositioning, and a couple of other things that can be done with this. There's a way to create a sequence camera. So basically, if you want something like more cinematic, that the camera pans around when you do this, or and you want to show that off a little bit better. In my case, I'm just keeping it at a kind of a first-person camera angle. You can do that as well through this sequence camera data. So now they all come together in this global grapple data, and that is part of the generate global grapple data function, and that is what's actually providing all the data needed for your Grapple component. Now let's take a look, and we'll adapt this to be like a front kick. So, and that one actually looks a lot better. The animations, at least, and the repositioning is a lot easier to be done, because it's there's a little bit of a distance between the characters, so that helps a lot. Alright, so let's go back in here, and I thought I actually had it working at one point. Let me see if I have any of the animations. Let's see. And these are actually really great. These already come with the Grapple Component package, so that's pretty awesome. There's a throw. These are the shake hands. You can also pick up the player, and that's actually kind of cool. I've had a mechanic where you can like hide the body. And let's see, do I not have that kicking thing going on? Let's see. Alright, yes, some of my skeletons got messed up. Alright, so now let's make sure that we have these in the right. So it should be default full body. You also need to make sure that you have the right group that you set this in. Alright, so that looks like it's in the right place. So default group full body, and we'll test this out to see how it works, um, how the montage actually works with this. So we have the stealth takedown, and let's do it in this front kick. So I'm just gonna use that as a kind of the default one to use here. Let's see if we have the proper animations and the generate global grapple data. As you can see, this one has some different values than the stealth takedown. You know, this one can be positioned a little further back. There's also a rotation happening because I can't remember why I actually used this. I believe maybe we won't need it, but let's see what happens. Because I mean this one, so the front kick is using the shaking hands, and that's actually the proper positioning. So we'll take a look and see if this is needed. These are also some very useful settings that you can get. Alright, let's take a look. So we have the shaking hands, and I might actually rename this. Maybe I'll keep the shaking hands part. So let's duplicate this. I was thinking originally that I would have that when encountering one of the friendly NPCs. They do a handshake, but not sure if that's needed. I haven't seen it done in other video games, so maybe there's no point in it. Alright, so now we have the front kick ALS here. Let's take a look and see if we can find a kick montage. So kick to the groin. Let's see if this plays properly first. So let's see. Oh, so that didn't play. Why is that? Let's take a look. I might need to regenerate the montage. Alright, so there you go. This is kind of like the action and how the animation looks. So let's create a anim montage. As you can see, this is from Mixamo, which is useful stuff. Alright, now let's see if this one behaves as expected. Oh, come here. Why didn't it... Sometimes also depending on the positioning, some of these grapple sequences can only be entered if you're either facing, and I'm wondering if that might be the case. If you're either facing the enemy or you're behind them. So let's take a look. There's quite a few other um, useful items in here. So for example, this test selection conditions on candidate. For example, this one is already in place to say is standing behind target. So it knows, for example, with the stealth takedown, that you're behind that character. Let's see if I actually have it in here. And see, this one's it's checking to see if you're behind the enemy. Um, that's when it knows that it can apply this grapple sequence. Alright, so let's take a look at this front kick ALS and see why it's not being triggered. Front kick ALS, front kick ALS. Let's see. Oh, so I'm calling the stealth attack. Oh yeah. So I was instead of this should be like actually melee attack. Stealth attack was something else. So let's call the melee attack. And let's see how this one works. And it's still not. That guy's still trying to initiate the. Oh, actually, 1 second. So I think I did not. Yeah, one thing that I forgot to do is I did create the montage, but I don't remember setting it to the full body. I believe is where it needed to be. Let's try that one more time. So with a friendly NPC you can do that, but with an enemy, there he goes. He's trying to just, blast through him. And the cool thing is the camera stays in place pretty nicely. There's still some maybe some additional things that I can do. And one thing that I should be doing before moving forward is this guy does not have all the body parts that are needed. So let me fix that real quick. It just looks a little odd with with him not being able to do anything. So I'm gonna try and do a predefined here. Alright, so it looks like it's got a complete body to it. Alright, so and now the response. That was what the main character did, but now we need to have response to it. So the front kick, back in our global data, we have the participant 0, which were and if you think about it, this is the participant 0 or 01, and the label here is you, the character, and then the second participant, or in this case, being that it's an array, participant 1, this would be the enemy. So let me find the proper animation for the groin, I believe is what that was called. And let's see if this is it. Yep, so this is the animation. Now we just need to create a anim montage. So this is the kick to the groin. let's make sure that it's in the right slot as well. So full body, there we go. And let me see, I don't think I didn't assign it yet. That's gonna go there. And now let's take a look and see how the enemy behaves. Alright, so he's still kind of in a patrol mode right now. Let's see if he can see me. Alright, so now he's seeing me. Let's make sure that that's the case. Yep, can see player is true. And now I just go up to him. And for whatever reason it did not play the animation. Why is that? It's a montage. It's a full body. Just like this one. So yeah, there it goes. That should be the one playing. Kick to the groin, this is it. Let's see, this one doesn't have any testing conditions, so it should play it just as expected. Let's take a look. So yeah, everything should be in place. That's interesting why it um, does not play the sequence properly. One thing that I do want to add is once you hit the enemy, it just should apply damage and maybe either unconscious or just completely kill the enemy. So let's do that. We have this QE apply damage that you can add at the end of the sequence. And I guess part of it was already in place. Oh, I'm wondering if this is the problem. It's trying to play a montage, but it's got nothing, and I'm wondering if it just overrides the other one. So I'm gonna add this in, and instead of the enemy response, just gonna do this QE apply damage. Alright, let's try this again. It's still not doesn't play that. And the other thing is, um, so that's disabling the sequence camera. Let's see if this function gets called. And because what I need to do is I need to go into this kind of a dead stat interface call where the player just goes into ragdoll and literally falls down. Let's see, where'd you go? And it looks like that one did not get called. So I wonder why. Because if you remember, let's take a look at this one. This being the stealth takedown. So I'm gonna change to be the stealth attack. And try this out. See, hopefully he's not gonna see me. So this one gets triggered as he should, and the enemy just goes into ragdoll. But it doesn't do it in the front kick. So I'm wondering what might be missing. With these being identical, and besides that part is also the front kick animation not playing on or the kind of the groin reaction not playing on the enemy. So also let's take a look at something because this is something that I mentioned. You can, or actually I didn't. Um, you should be able to kind of chain these. So for example, I have the stealth takedown. So if the attack is from the back, you get the stealth takedown animation, and if it's from the front, then there's the front kick. And I think that was actually working. I just tried it just now, right? So let's try it. Hopefully, it's not gonna notice me. So I need to get close, and that's actually just a breakpoint being triggered. with the applied damage on the stealth takedown. So there he goes, down he goes. And actually I should be putting a couple of these in the level just for testing. So let's do 2 spawn points for the enemy. Alright, so one of them saw me, that's alright. So this one is the front kick, that's the attack, so it should bring it into a um, it should play that that groin kick reaction, and that part I can't understand why it's not playing. This one has the same default group full body as the kick to the groin. Oh, actually no, that's the sorry, that's the kick to the groin. So this is the montage, and let's see, I'll just do add a montage filter here real quick. So let's just filter by kick. So default group full body, and then kick to the groin, same stuff. Why is that not working out properly? Oh, am I really not using the proper one? I have so many of them I need cleanup. Let's take a look. I think this might be the right one. Let's try that one more time. Alright, so this guy hasn't seen me, he sees me now, and there you go. The only thing is, of course, there's a little bit of a timing issue with it, so it's getting played a little too early, and the part of that is, and I believe it might be just due to and where was that? So generate, this is the testing, and let's see, on initiate, and I believe that's why I was using this enemy response to actually play that with a delay, the montage. Um, I can't remember if in the in generating the the global grapple data, there was a way to set up a delay between between my kick and then the enemy response, and I don't know if there is one. I would have to look into that, but let's do it via the event on initiate. We'll just do the enemy response like I had before, and play the montage after a short delay. So let's try that out. See if that works. So we have enemy response here. Response. I can't remember if this time this is being a queued event. I can't remember if this one was actually, it had a delay, and so this is the time for that. I'd have to go through the documentation, but let's try this out and see if this this might do it. Back in the global data. I'm gonna clear this out real quick. And I need to provide the proper montage here, the kick to the groin. So let's try this out and see if we get a better timing between my hit and then the enemy response. So, oh, there we go. That actually worked out pretty nicely. And I don't need to make any changes to the camera. The only thing that needs to change is the fact that the uh, the what do you call it? The AI is still running. So basically, in my case, let's see, where's the Blackboard data? Um, it's still running this, so I need to disable that. Hey Toasts, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Right, and speaking of the AI, so the behavior tree right now, um, I need to fix it from some of the reparenting that I've done recently. It had quite a bit of functionality, so between like the patrolling, the investigating noises, then searching for you. If you run away and it can't see you, it would go and search. Um, then the combat part where it's attacking you, depending on if it still has bullets, it's going to shoot you from a distance, and if it doesn't, I'm debating right now. It's just attacking you with a knife. Of course, once all of this is connected again, and I'm debating whether it's gonna run or if it's gonna try and attack you with the knife. So and yeah, so this being like some of the old stuff, it has some references to the previous classes before moving to ALS v4, and that's why there's like all these kind of issues with these tasks. So if I was to go into like this change status not found, the tasks should be there, but I believe if there's an error, it doesn't populate it properly. So yeah, basically this is the change status, and I'm not entirely sure why it's complaining about it. Maybe because it's disconnected. Yeah, so it runs fine. It's just a matter of changing the current status of the enemy, whether it's so the enemy would have a variety of statuses. Let me see if I can bring one of the enemies in here. So it's chasing, searching, or patrolling, searching, chasing. When it finds you, if it's just ignoring, just hanging out, standing, or chatting. So it might be like there could be two enemy characters that just might be chatting between themselves, and yeah. So based off of some of those states on when the game starts, it would enter into one of those based on what you select. So the only thing that I need to do is being that I have all these spawn points, at least I'm considering on with using spawn points, is providing that data. So whenever the game starts and they spawn, I'm providing their current status. So yeah, basically what I do is on game start, open level blueprint, So I do a few things as far as the gameplay, you know, loading all my levels, then spawning the main character, along with possession, the HUD, the HUD work, then spawning the enemies based on this enemy spawner location, which its position could be saved at the end of the game session. I would think at least that's my plan. Um, then all the NPC friendlies. I believe I actually can't remember. This was just related to the manager, to the manager quest target. So and then if there's any interactable items that are quest related, there's also this quest test dispatcher at the beginning of the game. So yeah, this is a little bit of the update that I wanted to show. If I can get some more of this done tonight, especially when it comes to the behavior tree, because this is where everything happens. And yeah, so there's quite a few stuff going on here. Once I get all this back up and running, I hope to have another update maybe tomorrow, and show some of that off. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So let's see, what else was there? Anything else that I had as an update? Oh yeah, one of the for any users of Blender out there, I started using this really amazing plugin called Blend File Import, I believe, for the marketplace name. So Blend File Importer, and this has saved me, or at least I hope it's gonna save me a lot of time from what it looks like, because like for example, I was playing around with this, and let's see if I can find, hopefully, where is my Blender thingamabob, because I got a few Blender packages installed. So just to show you something real quick, I have a character here, and so it's the mesh itself with a skeleton, and let me just save this real quick. And where is it? Blender V3, I think this is it. So the cool thing about this is, and yeah, so just as a new thing that happened this week, is this plugin as well, and I can highly recommend it. Let's import this thing, and assets, where is it? Characters, Muro. This is actually a free. You'll see I have quite a few test folders here. Though they should be, I thought they were empty, but apparently not. Anyways, let's do a for stream folder here, so I can just show you what's happening. So, hey Farrell, wonderful, good day. I know, Blender. So everything, the only thing that I need to do is, just bring in the Blender file. Once I have it selected, I thought I did. Come on. Oh, why are you doing this to me right now? You worked earlier. Like literally an hour before this stream, I was playing around with this. Skull and bones, exactly. Where was that? Log window. Message log. Oh, let's take a look in my project. Oh well, that is a new one. Um, like literally, that's what's odd. That all of these, well, not necessarily all of them, but like the latest, some of the latest things, like the little cube I was showing you, like this one was imported through that. So let me try at least open that one up. Maybe there's something wrong um, with this particular file. Let's try and play around with the new one. So I'm just gonna create something to play around with here, and hopefully this is not an actual some other issue on my end. Blend import. Yeah, so there it is. Let me try deleting this stuff here. Alright, so there we go. Maybe, well, one thing that I do have with that particular file is um, I have the auto import set on, so that if there's any changes to it, it gets re-imported to where I originally brought it in. But right now it's just kind of a little bit messy here, so just from all the testing. But let's just take a look at this one. So just your regular regular cube, and now I'm just going to make some changes to it. Um, let's extrude a face here and one here and save it. And now since this one doesn't have auto import, I'm just going to do a regular import. And let's see if, and there it is. So there's our new and improved, maybe, cube. And the same thing if I just make another change. And just save it. Let's, and this, this is automatic if you choose to set that up in Unreal. And there it is. There's the updated. Yeah, Farrell, it works. I'm really excited about it because as a Blender user, and it definitely saves me some time with especially when I work on custom stuff that are not off of the marketplace, right? So and so this is really useful for me. I can't figure out what was wrong with the other file. It must have been something on my end, but yeah, um, you know, cuts a few steps out of the equation. You know, like the trouble with the FBX export, if you remember to choose the settings. Like with me, what I was doing was having to go into here and then export, And then the first time, every time that I would open Blender new, would sometimes forget to choose the proper export. So it just defaulted to exporting everything, and this one actually works really well. It works really well for single items. For like, I haven't tried a blend file that has multiple items. I think it would just import all of them. But if you have a blend file, like sometimes I do with like a low poly, a high poly, some tests, mid poly, I'm not sure if it's gonna work out that well. So for single items like stuff like this, I think this is perfect. So so yeah, um, that was the other update that I wanted to show you. Oh no. Well, yeah, it's um, yeah, nerves of steel. Well, I also take it slow. Like I don't stress out too much about timeline, right? It's I don't want to make it a thing of it'll be done when it's done. I don't care what nobody says, but it's also a thing of this week I've had a decent week at work, so I was able to do some stuff at night. But some weeks are a little bit busier, and in the afternoon after work, sometimes I don't feel like doing anything. So it's like yeah, the you have to adult, right? And sorry to hear, but and that was the same thing for me, especially with stagnation. Now that you mentioned that, I felt the same way this week for a little bit, especially when it came to actually just today, this morning. I think I've spent a couple of hours on this AI thing, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because so I had my behavior tree trying to discern between seeing and not seeing the player. Between um, um, the what do you call it? Like the stimuli sources. So right now the player is using all of these. Sight, damage, and hearing for a stimuli source. The the enemy is let's see, where is that? So the enemy with the AI perception, um, I've actually had it with all four. Oh, sorry, with all four, with sight, with hearing, and with damage. So none of them were working properly, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And actually, I just restarted the engine, and I think it might have been just a matter of doing that. But yeah, in the meantime, there was a little bit of frustration and stagnation, and it was annoying. And I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And but after that, I'm like, okay, I kind of see that. I've seen things with Unreal, especially when it comes to files like you change something in a data table, and you save it. You think you save it, but it doesn't seem to be loading the new addition until you restart the engine. And I'm assuming the same thing might have happened with my behavior tree. Um, the one thing that I'm afraid to do, and actually let's try it out, is add another um, like another one of um, the elements. So I've got hearing, I got and I think the other one I wanted to do was damage. So let's see if he can still see me. So right now that's the dog character. I want to get Alright, so he can't see me. Okay, now he saw me, which is good. So my guess, at the same time, now that I'm thinking about this, um, the census config has an array in here, which is 0, 1, and 2. And when I complete the census, this is actually from a tutorial by Ryan Laley on YouTube. It's an awesome tutorial. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this as the last thing. I'm kind of wondering if this is gonna break right now if I change this. So if I remove this and then I add this at the end, so this being site. So right now, in my implementation here, the CanC player is actually hopefully this is clear enough on YouTube. The CanC player is triggered by whenever the index of the sense is 0, and I'm kind of wondering if at this point this is not going to be sight, is going to be the hearing, and then 3 is going to, or not 3 but 2 is going to be the sight. So let's try that out. I'm kind of curious right now as a last thing to do during the stream. Let's see if this kind of checks out. So CanC player is false. Let's see. Yeah, I think that might check out. And I've actually seen some people being kind of frustrated by this on the tutorial. I'm not entirely sure if this is kind of like an issue that they are running into. Like they were adding them in the wrong order. So let's do this one being sight, and then this one being hearing, and then this one being damage, in this order. So let's see. He only has like a 90-degree angle, I believe, for the sight, so I have to be in front of him for him to see me. Oh, and nope, it does not. That is interesting. So it's kind of back to that issue from before, where even though I have the sight, and let's see, everything is in place. One thing that I did change is this auto success range. Oh, and yes, the other thing, and I actually haven't tested this when I rearranged these, was the detecting the enemies. So I'm gonna check this to neutrals. I believe everything in the game is a neutral character, so I'm gonna start with neutral and see if that okay, so now he can see me. And let's see if I can try and hide. So he's gonna go to the last known position. Oh, he was a perceptive little guy. Nope, he can still see me. How far do I need to go to get away? No, 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 I don't want to talk to you. Okay, so that's far enough, he can't see me anymore. Yeah, so that's a few things to consider, especially with AI, is uh, and I need to test this again. I need, because like the first time I switched these around, I don't think I've actually switched the detect neutrals on. So I need to test that out, but And actually, let's do that real quick. So I'm gonna change this back to be, I'm gonna do hearing first and then sight second. And let's make sure that I have this as detect neutrals and enemies. And this one, the hearing doesn't have anything, but let's try and see if this one works, even if in a different order. All right, so let's see, where's the guy? He's here. Oh yeah, I guess it does. Interesting, very interesting. So that order doesn't seem to matter, but um, I think what matters most is the fact that you're detecting enemies and neutrals, and I was not able to figure out how to set the affiliation to um, for the affiliation for the main character to be an enemy. That's one of the things that I couldn't find as an option. I guess it's something that can be potentially done via expanding the um, the the controller class, I believe, as I've seen something online. So, well, in the meantime, this works to my needs, and so far so good. I also wonder if these might be in a different order. I'm not sure if that's gonna mess things up, but then again, yeah. Well, I mean, it's Farrell. I think it suits the needs of the many, and then you would have to expand on it. Um, so and yeah, that's the thing. Very few have unusual stuff, and there's so many products on the marketplace for like AI now. I was thinking of using some, and I've tried a couple, but I felt better of about doing this myself. At least it felt that way. All right, but anyways, I think that's gonna be it for me. I had a couple of other plans this afternoon, so I will definitely try to do another one tomorrow if anybody would be around. But I really appreciate everybody stopping by and checking it out even for a minute. And I hope to see you on the next one. But like I said, hopefully the combat is going to be a little bit more effective on the next stream. Like I said, I'm hoping I'll be able to have it by tomorrow. If not, definitely by next week. The combat is going to be in place, like the enemy equipping weapons, firing at you. I'm even hoping for like damage, so you would take damage and deal damage. So yeah, good night, Farrell. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care, everybody.